Yo! Welcome to the vlog. As pretty much all of you know, I have pet jellyfish who are in this tank right now. I normally do videos about looking after them on TikTok, but one, I'm doing a full tank clean right now anyway, and I've only just posted a video of me doing a full tank clean, and two, I feel like you guys miss out on like all the jellyfish content. So we're doing it on here, and I'm gonna answer all of the most commonly asked questions about having jellyfish as pets, and I'm gonna do that whilst I clean out the tank. Just a quick update, I have recently done a very deep clean of the tank. I had some little hydroids or copepods, and they're tiny little white comma dots things that just kind of around your tank, you know? They just appeared all of a sudden out of nowhere. I'd done my normal cleaning, I'd kept up to date with all of that, so I don't know where they came from. Maybe the water. I had literally only just started using a new batch of water like 2 days before as well, so it seems logical, but who knows. Either way, I did that giant tank clean a couple days ago, and pretty much all of them are gone. There's a couple in there still, but they're pretty much all gone. So today I'm basically just doing a normal tank clean. I know I've only just done a huge one, but I just want to get on top of these little creepy crawlies, you know, because I don't like them. They give me the heebie-jeebies. I just get itchy thinking about them. I don't want to see them, let alone think of them. Okay, so we are going to do a normal weekly tank clean right now. So we're going to remove about 20% of the water, and we're just gonna scrub everything down again. I do need to take them out of the tank to do this, so here is my first question. I always get asked why I always take them out of the tank instead of feeding them in the tank. I do feed them in the tank, I just never film that. Feeding them in the tank is literally so easy that I just rehydrate the food, pop it in the tank, leave them for like 10 minutes, come back, clean out the food, and that's it, over and done with. So I never film that. I can if you guys want me to, but I just thought that one was a bit boring. So I only really do videos when I'm actually doing a full tank clean, which is about once a week. To answer that question, no, you don't have to take them out of the tank, and no, I don't always take them out of the tank. I just do when I'm filming. We are gonna get the jelly babies out of the tank right now. I have actually been a little bit worried about Truffle. They have just never really seemed to eat a lot since I've got them. The other two will eat. Truffle has just never really eaten. And they're getting quite small now, and I am a little bit worried about them, but we're gonna try and get some food in them today. Try. Something that I have never seen anyone talk about with any wet pets, fish, jellyfish, whatnot, is these. Guys, if you have wet pets, please get these. They just come, I mean, they came with my headband for me, but they keep your sleeves up, so you don't have to take your hoodie off, so you don't have to be freezing cold, but it also catches any water that drips down. So handy. So yeah, get yourself some. I look absolutely glorious with mine on. I use these cups to store my jellyfish whilst I am doing anything with their tank at all. These cups are completely curvy on the inside and on the edge, and that just means that the jellyfish will not get damaged, because if you're not already aware, jellyfish are extremely fragile. Like extremely, like a bubble rips holes in them. A bubble. You gotta be very careful with the little babies, but these cups allow me to do just that. We're just gonna quickly rinse all of the cups out with a little bit of water. These are measuring cups. I don't know if I mentioned that. They are literally just like kitchen measuring cups. Yeah. We are going to be using this small scoop to actually take them out of the tank, and then we're going to put them into bigger cups. I always fill this one and the other biggest one up with a little bit of water first, so the jellyfish aren't just like hitting against the bottom, obviously. But you also don't want too much water in there to begin with, that it starts to overflow. Actually really difficult to see them in the tank whilst I have my ring light on, so I might have to turn it off. Currently we are just waiting for them to come to the top, if they don't come to the top, I have to use a ladle to scoop them out. So I much prefer when they come to the top by themselves, because I don't like using the ladle. No! Eggnog! Stop! You're being silly. Stop. Thank you. That's sensible. We have Eggnog. He was causing chaos. There you go, Eggnog. Ooh, truffle. Why are you all causing chaos for me today? You're doing cartwheels and stuff before I can even get you in the cup. They're just very happy to see me. Last man standing is mince pie. It normally is. Mince pie is the worst for coming out of the tank. But we might be able to get him, so. Because I don't want to have to ladle you, bro. So just get in the cup, please. Get in the cup. Mince pie. Get in the cup. Into the cup. Please. Please. Okay, we got him. A lot of people ask what I feed them. Now, there are two types. This is the first type of food that you can feed them. This is dry food or jelly fuel. I prefer this so much more than the live food. Live food for me, it dirties my tank a lot quicker, and they just don't seem to eat as much of it. Whereas this, they love it, apart from Truffle. But Truffle, she's a fussy eater. I actually use the little scoop that you get with the live food for the dry food, because this doesn't come with a scoop, so I just use the scoop from the live food. But we put one scoop in the cup of water, not with the jellyfish. This is in a separate cup. This needs to rehydrate before you feed it to them. You put this in the cup and you just mix it up a lot. Then you leave it for about 5 to 10 minutes and then you can feed it to them. But it just comes in this little pouch and it can last, I think it lasts about 3 months, but my last lot lasted a lot longer. I kept giving it a little sniff to make sure it hadn't gone off as well, and it was fine. So this is much better than the live food, in my opinion. This is what the live food looks like. This is baby brine shrimp, which is what jelly fuel is as well, but obviously just a dry version. This one is out of date. I will not be giving this to my jellyfish. These only last about a month in the fridge, and they have to be stored in the fridge. I never managed to finish a pot before it goes out of date, and I just find it incredibly wasteful. Hence why I prefer the dry food, among other reasons, but yeah. Here are the jellyfish. So this is mince pie in here. This is Truffle. And this is Eggnog, who is our crazy boy. He does whatever he wants, and yes, he is egg-shaped. That is not why I called him Eggnog. He was actually called Eggnog before he turned into an egg. But, oh well. To this day, I still don't know what caused him to become an egg. I believe it was because I had a power cut. I got them out of the tank as quickly as possible, and the other two weren't turned into eggs, but he was. So I think maybe he was at the bottom of the tank when the power went out, and then the water sank, you know, because there's no flow in the tank anymore, so as it starts to settle, maybe. I don't know. I've never had this happen before, but now I have a jellyfish egg. He's cute. We love him. Whilst we wait for the dry food to rehydrate so that I can feed them, I am going to start cleaning this out. I'm going to leave the tank on just for a second to get the main parts of the food out, and then anything else will be done once I turn the tank off. This is just so I can see the main bits of food easier, because yeah, once the lights out, it's kind of hard. This leads me to my next question, which is, do the lights affect them? No. No. I wish it did, because, you know, we could have parties, but they can't tell that that's doing that. It's a shame, really. The light is basically just there for decoration, because since they are so fragile, you cannot put any decoration in their tank. But that is basically what the light is for. But also, some species of jellyfish need white light, which is built into the tank. They need it for a certain amount of hours every day. This is only for certain species. My species do not need that. Jellyfish do not have eyes, brains, hearts. Most things that you think of when you think of something that is alive, they just don't have them. When it comes to eyes, instead of actual eyes, they just have what is known as eye spots. Eye spots can basically just detect light and dark, not much else. So yeah, they can't tell. They can't tell when I do any of this, which is a shame because, you know, we could have really, really cool raids. To remove dirt from the tank, I actually don't have a siphon yet, which is, honestly, it's diabolical considering how long I've had these jellyfish for. My problem is, I'm scared that I'm gonna buy one that's just awful, so I just never buy one. And I do that with a lot of things. I'm like, yeah, I'll look into it, I'll figure out what one's the best one, and then I just forget I have the memory of a goldfish. I mean, I would love to say I have the memory of a jellyfish, but you know, they just don't have memory. Which, I mean, actually could be more accurate. I don't know. But anyway, to clean out any of the dirt from my tank, I just use a turkey baster with the end missing. You don't need to have the end missing. I just lost mine. And I've never found it since. And I was going to replace this, but I couldn't find any that were as long. All of the turkey basters that I see in shops are like half the size. I need to order a proper one again, but I just use a turkey baster and I cover the top when I put it into the water, and then that creates a vacuum in here, and then I lift my finger and it obviously drags the dirt and water up, and then I put my finger back on top, take it out of the tank and pop it in here. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to show you this. I'm trying to do it one-handed. There is actually a bit of dog fur right here. I'm not sure if you just saw that or not. I'm going to try and show you at least a little bit. I wanted you to actually see what I do when I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go clean the tank now, because I never get to show it. So we're just being really careful because I don't want to get any water on my camera, obviously. I don't even know if my camera's focused on anything in the tank. If it isn't, then I am so sorry. There is a little bit of dirt there, but I'm gonna scrub that up rather than try and use my turkey baster to get it out, because it just needs scrubbed. Okay, I can tell it just needs scrubbed. And then I do think that I'm gonna have to unblock the pump today, just because a couple days ago I added new carbon, which you have to do every 3 months. 2 to 3 months. I had only had my tank up running for 2 months, so I did it a bit early, but my tank definitely needed it. So because I put new carbon in and I ordered the wrong carbon as well, I ordered one big bag rather than little bags. Because I ordered the wrong bags, I have to just put like a couple spoons of it in to hit my filtration system and just hope that it doesn't get in the pump, which it sometimes does. I just use this little toothbrush to brush the carbon out. I'm gonna show you what it looks like anyway, because I'm gonna have to do it now. But I'm pretty sure if I don't do it today, I am gonna end up having an emergency where it starts blocking itself whilst the jelly babies are in the tank, and then I'm gonna have to rush to get them out, and I don't want to do that. We're going to just do it now and get it over and done with. Unfortunately, that does mean more work for me, but it's in the interest of the jelly babies, so I shall do it. But anyway, I'm going to show you feeding the jellyfish because the food is now ready. So this is the food right here. I always mix it around like that, and then I let it all settle before I take any of it out, because I want to give the absolute tiniest bits of food to Truffle, because as you can see, they are quite small. They struggle to swallow any of the bigger bits of food. They only give the big bits to Mince Pie. And sometimes Eggnog if he's feeling crazy. Let's see if he's feeling crazy today. And then I go around the edge and get all the smallest bits. And then we just leave them in there for as long as I need, basically, whilst I do all this. And I can just add more food as and when. and just keep checking on them. We've cleaned the bottom of the tank now and got rid of the main parts of any dirt. So now we are going to turn the tank off. We're going to go into this part of the tank, which is the filtration system, and I'm going to take out just enough to get to the pump because otherwise it's going to take too long. I'm gonna give all of this a good scrub with my sponge on a stick. I will give the pump a brush, put everything back in, take out 20% of the water and replace it, and then put the jelly babies back in once they're acclimated. So it doesn't seem like that much, but it can take a while, but this shouldn't take too long. So let's go. Okay. Well, it's never turned off that calmly before. That was shocking. I always get asked what the main things you need for a jellyfish tank are. If you wanted to do the absolute bare minimum, which I promise you that will not stay like that for long, you will end up buying more, because once you're a jellyfish parent, that's it. They're your babies. Even though they have no brain or heart, which honestly some people are like that too, but you spoil them. Even though they don't even know you exist, you spoil them. I love them so much. But anyway, if you wanted to know what the bare minimum is to have a tank and keep it going, this is what you're going to need. Obviously, you will need a tank. I get a specially made jellyfish tank, which is from petjellyfish.co.uk. I will leave them linked in the description. That is also where I get my jellyfish from as well. They sell other supplies too. But I do not get every single bit of my equipment from there. But my tank is from there. I love my tank. For me, it's the perfect size. They do obviously have so many other options. They've got smaller, bigger, but for me, this is great. Obviously the jellyfish you would need, duh. I obviously always recommend you start off with a jellyfish that has no sting as well, which would be a moon jellyfish, a blue cannonball jellyfish like I have right now. I have had both of these species before and I adore both of them. I do prefer moon jellyfish though. Where I get mine from, you can actually get starter kits that include everything that you need to begin with. I don't remember what these starter kits have in them anymore because I haven't had one in so long, so it might have changed. But I did originally have a starter kit, so I do highly recommend them. With the starter kit, I'm pretty sure you already get any of the filtration system stuff, but I will show you it just in case you don't want to get a starter kit and you want to source all of this elsewhere. This is micropad. This is your first layer of filter, which is right at the top just here. Under this, there is another kind of spongy, more wiry sponge though. I don't know what that is. I've never replaced mine either. I clean it thoroughly, but I've never replaced mine and it hasn't seemed to cause any issues. This one you have to replace for sure, but that one underneath it, I'm not sure. Any other wet pet keepers, please let me know, because I've been keeping my jellyfish like this for years and never had an issue. Am I supposed to have had an issue? Thank you. The next part in the filtration system is coral balls. This is part of the natural filtration. Those coral balls will never need replaced. I mean, not within the lifespan of your tank anyway. The coral balls are there to basically house some friendly bacteria, which is something that you actually will need, and you have to add that. But once a week I add this. I use the Ceramarine Reef Clear. I got this off Amazon. I did have to import it. This is what I originally started using with my tank after I'd used up what I had in the starter kit, so I just wanted to stick to what I knew. So this is what I use. The last part of the filtration system is this, which again, this is just what I used with the starter kit, so I stuck with this brand because I knew that this worked for me. I used the ChemiPure Blue Premium Activated Carbon plus High Grade Ion Exchange Resins. So many words. Get it. I really should tell you about these things, but they are also the things that I never use. So maybe I don't bother, but I will anyway. To measure the parameters of your tank, so the salinity, nitrate levels, stuff like that, there are various tests. This is, I think, a hydrometer. There are different types, but I have this one and I have another one as well, but this one's the easiest one to use. Thought I would just show you this. This measures the salinity of the water. We're just going to use the water that was going to go to waste anyway, rather than dipping this in the tank because I haven't cleaned it in a while. Put the water in and then you use this just to knock the little arrow, and then it will move and it will show you where your salinity is sitting at. Mine is currently at about 1.023, which is actually perfect. which is shocking considering I mix my water myself. You can buy pre-mixed. You do not have to mix it yourself like I do. I just found it easier to do that from the beginning, so I've just always stuck to that. That is how you check the saltiness of the water. Jellyfish do require salt water. So another question answered, because everyone always asks me, are they freshwater or saltwater? Have you ever seen a jellyfish in a pond? No, you've only ever seen them in the sea? No, I'm kidding. I have all the time for people asking questions because honestly, I'm the same. Along with the salinity test, I also never test my nitrate levels because I found that when I did test my nitrate levels, I constantly was stressing, I was constantly worried. I just check what my jellyfish are doing now. If I think my jellyfish need help in any sort of way, then I figure out what they need through them rather than doing tests. I find that these tests actually make me freak out more, and then I end up putting my hands in the tank far too much, taking the jellyfish out of the tank too much, and I just stress and then they get stressed, and it's just a downward spiral. Okay, I have this test just for emergencies, but I never use it. This is something that you should probably get to begin with, and then you might end up doing what I did and just not using it, or only using it as and when. The next things you almost definitely need for a tank is a sponge on a stick. We're about to use this in a second. This is great. It's actually extendable too. Men, are you watching? Are you jealous? Just kidding. Sponge on a stick, scrub everything. It's awesome. You can get away with just using the sponge on a stick, but I do find there are a couple areas in the tank that are a little bit harder to reach, and that is when my little baby toothbrush comes in handy. And this one has crabs on because, well, it's on theme, darling. Apart from those things, obviously a bowl, that's all you kind of really need for a tank. And obviously their food. There are plenty of things that you will end up buying. For example, a ladle. Oh, and obviously you're gonna need somewhere to store the jelly babies whilst they're out of the tank for tank cleans. So for me, that is measuring cups. I just find measuring cups the easiest. Of course, with any pet, you're gonna end up spoiling them and buying more and more things. I ended up buying a ladle. This really, really does help get them out of the tank. Sometimes they just kind of float around at the bottom, and I don't have time. I don't. I give them a couple minutes. If they don't come to the top, then I just put this in and I just slowly lift them out, and then I use a cup to scoop them out of there. Easy peasy. Now we're gonna do my least favorite part, which is actually cleaning the tank. I do find this very relaxing, so it's in no way awful. It's just my least favorite part. My favorite part is just getting to stare at my jelly babies because I'm obsessed. But let's get to cleaning. This black section of the tank right here is the filtration system, and just in front of that you kind of have like this little, I don't know, there's like a bunch of little keyholes basically. And if you're not already aware, I do have a big fluffy dog, so his fur does end up getting in the tank, and that is where most of it gets caught. So we're just going to make sure that we scrub that really well. As I said, I did a huge tank clean literally 2 days ago, so there's not much to scrub, so I'm just going to get this done really quickly and then I'll come back and talk. We've given the tank a scrub, so we are now going to start taking the filtration out. And you know what? I thought I cleaned my tank really well, but clearly I missed part. So we're going to go in and clean that right now. This is the neck sponge. As I said, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to replace this or not. I clean it really, really well though, so... But anyway, we are going to use our baby toothbrush to get under the ledge where all that dirt has come from. I did do this the other day, but clearly not very well. Although, there's no dirt coming out. Oh. I'm confused. Where did that dirt come from then? Was it just the carbon? Maybe it's not even dirt, maybe it was actually just the carbon. Yeah, okay, well. The next part is this acrylic shelf. I think it's acrylic anyway, I don't know. I'm gonna say it's acrylic. Under the shelf is all the coral balls, so we're going to take some of them out just so I can get to the pump and just make sure that the pump isn't blocked with any of the carbon, and then put it back in. Important to note though, you don't want to be taking these coral balls out too much because they are alive. You can't tell, but they are. And they have millions of little friendly bits of bacteria in there. So the more you take them out, the more you damage the bacteria. Obviously you don't want to do that. My arm is so sore. Here is the pump. She's actually not that blocked. I thought she would be, but let's take this off. And can you see? Let me bring you up. Not a huge amount. That is basically all the dirt that came out of it, which isn't much considering. Guys, I just cracked my camera. I'm actually gonna cry. Hold on. Ha! Damn. I mean, the crack isn't too bad. I'm so upset with myself. I kid you not. Right, do you want to see how far you dropped? You dropped from here to here. It didn't even land on the floor. It landed on a blanket and a pair of rubber gloves. So how on earth does it smash? Ay, ay, ay. Well, I will cry about it whilst I do this. We're gonna put this back in now. Now I have to move all the coral balls back out of the way because where I took the pump out, they've fallen into where the pump was. And it's really hard to get the pump back in again, which is why I don't like taking the pump out often, but in this case I needed to because there was a slight rattling noise in it. Now I'm gonna check on the jelly babies quickly, just see how they're doing. Eggnog has eaten a lot, as eggnog would. Truffle has eaten none. I'm very worried about Truffle, and mince pie has eaten a normal amount, I think. Let me see. So that is mince pie. He's eaten a little bit. It's already in his stomach as well. This is Truffle. She has barely eaten anything. She is holding some food. I don't know if you can see if I create a small current. You can see she's holding some of the food, but she's not really swallowing it. And then this is Eggnog. He has just decided to grab loads of food at once because he's an idiot. He is just an idiot. It's just excessive. Like, why is he holding that much food? You don't need that much, buddy. Now I am going to remove all of these bits of dirt off the bottom of the tank. There's not much because, as I said so many times, I did do a full tank clean 2 days ago. We are going to put everything back in the filter now, and then we are going to start cleaning out the tank. So coral balls first. Then we put this filter back in. And then I am going to put this one back in because I think the black, I think it's just from the carbon because I remember this happening last time as well. Now we're going to remove all the dirt off the bottom. Okay, we have removed all of the dirt. There is like literally nothing on the bottom now at all. This is the cleanest my tank has ever been. So let's screw that up by putting my hands back in it. Let's go. All seriousness though, I need to remove about 20% of the water. So far this is how much we've removed, which is, that's about half a litre, 600 ml. So I have to just remove about 4 or 5 litres. So let's go. We have removed about 6 litres in the end just because I thought I'm here doing it anyway, why not? So now we're gonna fill it back up. With the newer bottles, like when the bottles are still quite full, when you're trying to pour it in, it splashes everywhere, hence why I have towels like everywhere as well. So we're gonna start pouring this one in first so that I can use up some of it, even though I have a bottle that's already open and halfway full there. So we're gonna use this one first so that it splashes less. Now we are gonna use pretty much everything that I have, so pipettes, my turkey baster, and probably even the toothbrush to try and get all the bubbles off the sides. When you're pouring the water in, bubbles end up forming on the side and everything, completely normal, but you do have to get as many of them off as possible because, as I mentioned earlier, jellyfish are very fragile, that even bubbles can hurt them. Okay, you see, especially on the back one, you can see them all. You just have to knock them all off, which honestly this part is very satisfying, apart from when you can't reach some of them. On the front as well, I don't know if you can see those ones because it's not really focusing on them. This is probably the scariest part for me because if I haven't added enough water, then the pump's gonna start fizzing. If I've added too much, then it's gonna overflow, and I can't tell. Once you've got the tank on, you can see how much the water level's at on the side just here, but until it's on you don't know, because my whole filtration system obviously has less water in it now because of when yeah, okay, I don't know how to explain it, so you're not gonna understand it, but either way, let's go. You can't even see where the line is because I added too much. I'm gonna start acclimating the jelly babies, which means taking some of their tank water and adding it into the bowls that they're in now so that they can get used to the tank water again. So this is just what's settled after I've turned the tank back on. These little black dots are carbon, and then this will just be some dirt out of the pump. So we're just going to remove all of that and then carry on acclimating our jelly babies, and then I will put them back in. We are pretty much done acclimating them. I am going to quickly add some of their healthy bacteria. I did add this 2 days ago when I did the giant clean, so we're not going to add too much. We're only going to add about 1 ml of it. Reason I'm still adding it is just because I've done quite a big water change, so I just want to make sure that there is enough in there. Right, it is time to put the jelly babies back in the tank. I just removed all of the food from their bowls. Now I am just going to take them out of their bowls and put them into the tank. Mince Pie has eaten. I'm happy with how much he's eaten as well. Truffle has picked up a lot of food but not actually eaten any of it. And they keep getting smaller and I am very worried about them. Eggnog. Ugh. Eggnog. He's picked up like so much of the food but not eaten any of it. Like he's just carrying it around with him. I don't know. I don't know. My head hurts too much to deal with this. This is Mince Pie. We're going to put him in the tank first because he's the biggest, so I will be able to see if there's anything wrong with the tank quicker. Basically, he's a sacrifice because I know he's stronger than the other two. So if anything is wrong with the tank, I'll be able to help him a lot more than I would be able to help the others. Can you get out of the bowl, please? Okay, he's holding a ridiculous amount of food. He's dragging along the sides because he's just got too much food. I don't even think I need to point out which is which. That one is most obviously Eggnog because he's just chaos, pure chaos. And the one at the back is Mince Pie, who has eaten a normal amount. Eggnog, you can't even swim upwards, mate. Are you gonna drop it? Are you gonna drop it? Ooh, well done. Okay, last to go in is Truffle. They have picked up a lot of food, but I just know they're gonna drop it. Oof. Right, all three of them are back in the tank, so that is it. It's done. So that is Mince Pie. Eggnog. Oh no, that is Truffle at the top now as well. Eggnog is at the back there. But yeah, Mince Pie has definitely eaten the most, which I always expect. Eggnog, you man, you confuse me. You really confuse me. And Truffle, you scare me. You worry me a lot. But yeah, that is the jelly babies. That is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them and I will answer them. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you didn't enjoy the video, give it a big thumbs up anyway, because jelly babies. And because I'm desperate for love. I will see you guys next week. Mwah!